What's up, everyone? Chevito here, and welcome back to The Core. Today, we have a very special guest, someone I deeply admire and hold in high regard. Our paths first crossed nearly 15 years ago at the old Film Roman studio in Burbank. And since then, we have become really good friends. Before immersing himself in the world of animation, he proudly served in the US Navy, a testament to his dedication and commitment. Starting from a production role, he steadily climbed the ladder to become a distinguished producer, leaving his mark on numerous acclaimed shows such as Avengers Assemble, Pacific Rim, and many others. Not confined to just production, he's showcased his talents as a prolific writer and skilled graphic artist. Yet, above all his talents and accomplishments, his greatest attribute is being an exceptional human being. People of the internet, may I introduce you to a fellow Filipino born artist at heart and a genuine homie, Kuya Reinard J. Palisoc. How are you doing, my bro?
Thank you very much.
Hey, wait,
I'm,
wait, wait. I miss you, man.
I miss you, bro.
Yeah, I've been a
I
long
miss
time,
you.
man. When was the last time we
I
talked?
know.
Chatted like this. I mean, we always like kind of chat all the time anyway. But like like face to face like this. We when was the last
No,
time?
and we don't do it often. Life gets
Yeah,
so busy. I'm thankful that we're able to talk on apps and stuff like that. But like
yeah,
actually having a conversation, it's you try to carve out time in the day, and you know how busy you can get, and
yeah,
I never know how truly busy you could get once you have a family. And every moment is precious. Every moment is calculated.
yeah.
It's like if I watch a bad movie, it if I reserve an hour and a half or 2 hours to watch a movie and it's bad, I
Hmm.
am pissed. I am pissed because I just wasted
Yeah,
2 hours. So yeah, that's how valuable time is, you know.
yeah, absolutely. It's especially like how you value your life itself because I remember we were talking about this was Mila was just born and we were talking and then you said to me, dude, it's crazy, something along the line with like, dude, it's crazy because now I look at my life differently now because like before we would jump off cliff on the river or the lake. It was we didn't care what happens, but now it's like, wait a minute, something really changed. It was just awesome. It's like it's definitely a new chapter of your life, and it's like a different perspective and different views and things. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I will never bungee jump. I won't skydive again. I don't think, unless it's like an emergency, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
But yeah, it's just everything has to be calculated now,
yeah.
and like you said, there's like a switch. There's a switch, and I truly believe it's chemical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, it's spiritual, but it's also like there's a switch that happens where you realize you have something other than you to worry about and even if you didn't value your life,
Yeah,
because you're willing to jump off cliffs and stuff like that, but
yeah,
now you have something to value and protect, and that switch goes off and you're like, that Terminator, his viewpoint where you're looking at everything, you're like, okay, is that a threat, is that a threat, is that a threat? That's what you're
yeah.
like.
Yeah, all of a sudden you had a purpose, you know what I mean? Like other than other than pleasing yourself or just like having fun. So it's a
Yeah.
different type of purpose. It's a bigger purpose for yourself. So it's amazing, dude. So I want to ask you several things, but let's maybe we could talk about like how you were born in the Philippines and all that stuff,
Yeah.
right? So you migrated to the States. Oh, tell me about like how.
Yeah. So yeah, I was born in Philippines, Caloocan City. Um, I don't remember much about it except that I slept on a wooden bed, and I looked out of the door in the middle of the night and I saw someone peeing in a pond because there was a lantern. That's what I remember. Like that's a
Yeah,
distinct memory. And
yeah.
then I think the other memory was stepping into an anthill and
Oh, get bitten by it.
and uh, uh,
Yeah.
trying to scream like at 3 years old. But anyway, my grandfather was here in America, so naturally, my father and my mother, we all we all
Mhm.
migrated over here to LA. And yeah, and I just grew up in LA. I It's funny because even though I grew up with around a lot of Filipinos because of church, because of the neighborhood,
Mm,
um, I stopped speaking Tagalog.
mm,
And I think it's because my mom was trying to make sure I spoke correct English.
mm.
So throughout elementary school, she would correct me and make sure I'm speaking correct English.
Yeah,
And yeah, I just now I can't speak Tagalog, but I can
yeah.
understand.
You can understand it. Yeah. Well, it's the
And when it
same as.
comes, yeah,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
when it comes into my mind and I try to speak it, it like gets stuck right here, and I can't say
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you can, yeah. It's the usual thing that happens actually, because it happens to my sisters. My sisters were born here. I mean, like, but my stepmom uh speak to them in Tagalog. They understand fully. They watch Filipino channels, but they
Yeah,
can't speak it. And so as my partner in the UK, she understands everything, but she can't speak it. She's
yeah.
bulol. She mumbles. But so yeah, keep going. Like
So you know what that does to a lot of people in my position, probably you too. I know you came in your teens, but like uh, you have two cultures to reconcile. You have
mm,
your Filipino culture that teaches humility, that teaches good family values, all this stuff. Then you have this American boastful culture, like like you know, it's the American dream, and the what is it? The strongest uh, uh, king of the hill type stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's late, and I'm down one bourbon, so Um, no,
No,
but yeah, so like what it forces you to do growing up is reconcile those two things, and you've got one thing in your ear saying, "Hey, you need to be more humble," and you got another thing going, "No, I want to show off. Like I'm in America,
you're in America. Yeah,
like
yeah.
I want to do
The
what I
proud.
want
Yeah,
to do." And that's
yeah,
all I've always battled with that, like throughout
yeah,
my whole life, and I think that's why previous to us starting this podcast, I was telling you, I think maybe I'll say this every year, but I know who I am this year. I know who I truly am now
that's
this year,
amazing, man. That's
and I can
amazing.
speak to you confidently in this way because I'm not trying to be something else. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have I don't have the separation anymore of
Mm,
going, wait, I'm Filipino, but I'm also American. Like I'm
yeah,
me.
yeah,
I
exactly.
am who I am,
Hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, that's what happens when you grow
That's
up.
awesome. So when you migrated to America, when did you feel the art? Like, how did you get into art?
Oh man, okay. All right, man. Ninja Turtles. Okay. That's the earliest memory. So Saturday morning cartoons, which I miss. We don't have that anymore. But
Yeah.
wake up at 5 in the morning and and you watch as many cartoons that whatever was on
Mm,
Nickelodeon, Channel 11, Channel 13.
yeah.
You go through all the channels, and yeah, I remember trying to draw, and it was obviously horrible. But like I drew, I think, a Ninja Turtle for the first time,
That's amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
and
during
then
our
I was
time, man.
right,
Yeah.
and I just remember like being so proud of it and trying to show it to people. Of course, it's like, what is this? But then, yeah, I wound up drawing a lot, and we'll get more into this later. But yeah, but my inspirations were Saturday morning cartoons,
Mm,
uh, and just all the different types of styles because I think they had Nickelodeon stuff, which was they were bringing in a little bit of anime, but anime style with like little prints and stuff.
yeah.
But then you had the American cartoons,
Yeah,
GI.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
had like X-Men,
Transformers, yeah.
yeah, Transformers, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, all the
yeah,
classics,
dude.
man.
Oh,
The
yeah.
80s classic. But yeah, so how did it become your how did you pursue it? Like what made you think to uh pursue the animation or art, whatever?
Yeah. Okay. We're about to get real because obviously I'm a producer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not directly drawing or but I'm creating art for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
um, but what there's a combination of things that happen. It's throughout school, all the way even up to high school. I was drawing all the time. I had my own sketchbooks. Um, there was a lot of I tried graffiti for a while
Right,
because
right,
that was
yeah.
pretty
Well,
popular.
90s in LA. You
Yeah,
got
exactly. So
to.
you just had to try it,
Yeah, you had to. You had to, yeah.
and I was always just drawing it.
Mm.
And I didn't have a particular style, but comics. When I got into comics, my first comic book was Wolverine: Reign of Terror from
Ah, yeah.
and dude, it's an awesome plot. Why can't they make a movie out of this? But basically, Wolverine gets transported back to the medieval days and loses his mind, so he becomes a
Yeah.
beast. And he's this beast that's just clawing up knights, like like King Arthur's Round Table. He's just
Yeah.
clobbering them.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that was my first. That was my
But
first.
let me just say something real quick. Speaking of that, it's crazy because like really half an hour ago, I just saw a trailer of Logan. It's called Logan something something, but it's a fan made Wolverine in the Viking times. I gotta
Whoa.
say, dude, I gotta send it to you. It's really awesome
Yeah.
for a fan made.
Yeah.
It's really dope. I'm gonna send that to you. I'm gonna send it to
Yeah.
you.
I mean,
Gone?
imagine. Yeah, exactly. Imagine Wolverine in the Viking times.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was my first comic book, and
yeah,
then I fell in love. Like who doesn't? Like it has
yeah,
everything. Up until then, you're just kind of drawing what you're seeing in cartoons. Now you
yeah,
have like a template. Now you're looking at whoa, this is what muscles look like, and you kind of
yeah, yeah,
and of course everybody's all super crazy on steroids.
yeah. Yeah.
Like
Rob
you're just
Liefeld.
it's a yeah exactly. Yeah, and I followed that comics
Mm,
goal even until now. Like I still read comics.
yeah.
There's a lot more like less bombastic type comics
Mm,
with really good stories, but it's like a good action film,
yeah,
like sometimes you just want to watch Predator again, and that
yeah,
scene with all the dudes going da, 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 like
yeah, yeah,
that's what a good. Sometimes you just want a comic book that has all of that stuff. But
yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So
I'm not sure if
did
I answered
you
your question.
did you go to art school? You did went to that's because that's
Yeah,
how you met Sebastian, right? In art
yeah.
school.
So our high school was an art magnet.
Mm,
And yeah, I went there. I don't know. I don't remember if I gave a portfolio during that time, but it
mm,
was an art magnet. We had art classes.
yeah.
We did a bunch of mixed media stuff. I won a
Mm,
few awards, through school.
nice.
Um, but yeah, it's. I think what happened after that, and again, this is reconciling two cultures, right? And
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
maybe you had a different experience, but at least for me, because my mother was a nurse
Mm,
and it's stability in nursing, and it was always in my ear,
yeah, yeah.
oh, art is great, but you should go into nursing,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so when I was 17, I rebelled. Like
Mm,
I thought to myself, like, I don't like the smell of hospitals. No offense to nurses, I think they're
yeah,
great, and
yeah.
my
Yeah.
mother, whom I love, it's just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I signed up for all of the branches of service in the military, and the Navy called me
Wow.
first.
So you were 19 or 18?
I was 17.
Oh, you were
Uh,
17.
I
Wow.
was
Okay.
17. My parents had to sign the contract for me
Well, so you graduated high school early then.
because I was born in October.
Oh, okay. There you go. Makes sense. Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I was the youngest. That's another thing we can get into as well. But
Mm,
like, I should have been held back
mm-hmm.
so that I could graduate older, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it explains like a lot of my friends were actually in the grade below me.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah, so I joined the Navy, and I was in the Navy for 7 years. But
7 years. Oh, wow.
6.5, my initial contract was
Yeah.
six
I
years.
thought it was only 4 years for a contract like that. Wow, I didn't know it lasted that long.
I was special.
But
They
you
got
you
me.
wanted to be in there, right? Like how was your experience in there? Like
It's not that I wanted to be in there. It's that I didn't know where else to go. I went to Santa
mm,
Monica Community College for a
right,
couple of
right.
weeks. I said,
This is not for me. Yeah, yeah.
this is not for me. This is
Yeah.
just like high school. I'm not learning anything.
Mm,
And so I joined the Navy, and it's where I grew up, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I'm
during
thankful
that
for it.
time.
I'm
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
thankful for it because I don't think like in my mental state, I would have grown as much. You
Mm,
know, in the Navy, I was able to deal with all sorts of people, and I
yeah,
carry that to today. Like
yeah.
there's people from the East Coast who talk differently, who act differently, from the
Mm,
South, from the North, from the West, and everybody was just put together in a tin can, and you have to like
mm,
work together, and you have to make
yeah.
sure that you're agreeable to a certain extent. So like
Mm,
yeah, that was a great experience for me. I needed
mm,
that.
yeah.
But after, after 6.5 years, almost seven, I left,
Mm,
and I left. I probably would have stayed, but at that time, my brother passed away.
oh,
Um, it was a freak accident, but he
mm,
passed away, and so I felt like I needed to come home and
yeah.
take care of my mom.
Yeah, yeah.
So I left the Navy, and then I'm sitting there in a one-bedroom apartment with my mom thinking, what am I gonna do? I'm sleeping on the couch, like what am I
Mm,
gonna do? And then I was like, I gotta go to college. I gotta go to college.
mm,
So literally the first college that I looked up, the first art college, which was Art Institute of
yeah.
Los Angeles. I went over there, interviewed, and did all this stuff, wrote an essay, and I got in. Um, in hindsight, should I have looked for better art colleges? Probably, but
Mm,
everything happens for a reason.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Like at this age now, with all the coincidences, I feel like, yeah, I could have changed it, but
Mm, it is
it,
what it is. Yeah.
it is what it is, and it's what
Yeah.
led to my friendship with you, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And so a
and
lot of
and
things.
and through you, my wife, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
So it would be very different if I went
Right,
to
right.
for college. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I went to Art Institute. Got towards the end, got a couple internships, and my first
Mm,
internship was at Marvel. Actually, no, sorry, my second internship was at Marvel. I had
mm.
another internship before that, and it
So
wasn't an art.
Marvel
Yeah,
Film Roman, where we met, is that what your first one? Or
no,
no, it's a
no,
different one. Yeah,
Marvel
yeah.
Manhattan Beach. So
Oh wow, that far. Okay.
yeah, and this was the time when internships weren't paid, right? So
Mm,
I'm driving like 40 miles from the valley to Manhattan
mm.
Beach,
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
and I'm just trying to do anything,
Yeah.
trying to work.
So
Yeah,
wait a minute. So you got out of you got out of Navy. You were already kind of like 24, 25, some
yeah,
around that.
well,
And
24.
then
Yeah,
you went to college for how many years?
um, I went to college for 4 years. Yeah, it
Four
was 4 years.
years.
Yeah, so I was a 29-year-old intern.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so and it's kind of funny because I feel like 29 years old is so young now, but like at that time I felt so
At that time,
old.
yeah. I know
Everybody's
what you mean.
20, 21,
Yeah,
right?
I know. We had to talk about age stuff like that. And it's just so funny. But yeah, keep going, bro.
And
So
I'm this guy.
you started at Marvel. Yes, you entered at
Yeah,
Marvel. Yeah.
and it wasn't like an animation internship or anything, not like
Yeah,
these.
yeah.
It was a marketing internship,
Mm,
and honestly, I didn't really know the full scope of the job,
yeah.
but I made sure that I fulfilled whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Like I was in a position, I had my foot in the door, and I just, what do you need? What do you got? Let's do
Mm,
it. And then I saw all of the interns leaving. Like every month they would be leaving, and I'd be like, oh, okay, what are you gonna do? Go back to school? Okay. For me, that wasn't really an option, right? Like
yeah.
I was gonna graduate soon anyway, that's when I started talking to producers and saying, hey, I got like a month left. Can I shadow you? That magic word. Can I like shadow? Like what does shadow
Yeah.
mean? Whatever. But one person said, yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
then
Yeah.
they gave me like a schedule and said, meet me at these places at these times. And it's through there that I got to go to storyboard meetings. I
Mm,
got to record session, the writer's room,
yeah.
and I was like, whoa, whoa, this is pretty cool, right? Like, what is
Mm,
all this stuff? And then, and this is how I got into producing as well. So,
yeah.
so during a record session, I was talking to the executives and just introducing myself. Hi, my name is
Yeah.
RJ. Yeah, what do you do? Well, I'm graduating. I'm looking for a job.
Mm,
And then one of them said, send me your resume. And
right.
I said, cool, no problem. Sent the resume, um, and then got a call. Got a call like about a week later, a couple weeks later.
Mm,
Very fortuitous. Like you don't that doesn't happen.
yeah.
But very very fortunate to have that call. And then I'm coming in for a production assistant interview.
Mm,
I'm 29, turning 30 this time,
mm,
and my only understanding of I don't know the entertainment industry. My only
yeah.
understanding is the few months I was an intern and whatever.
Mm,
So I know that if I have to go to an interview, I have to dress well. So I
yeah.
wore a double-breasted suit. I'm still wearing
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
pinstripe suit.
boy.
I'm looking like
A
I'm a
governor.
yeah.
Oh man.
And I come in for a production assistant interview and I sit down and I'm acting like I'm interviewing for to be a bank teller, I guess.
That's hilarious.
And, I mean, I didn't have any experience except for my internships.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was just kind of being myself and just trying to
Mm,
like I didn't understand how to sell yourself at the time, but I was
yeah.
just honest with what
Yeah.
I could do. And I didn't get the job, right? So that's
So what
okay.
happened after that?
So I was with one of my best friends, Keone,
Mm.
uh, and we were just hanging
Yoni.
out, bumming it out, at
Yeah.
per use. All right, so like we're in our late 20s,
Yeah.
and we're just being bums, and then I get a phone call and says, hey, it was from another producer who interviewed me during that time,
Mm.
uh, because when they had the interview, they had other producers come in to talk to me.
Mm.
So yeah, a show opened up, a spot opened up, and they were looking for a production assistant, and the rest was history. Like I
Yeah.
said yes, came in,
Mm.
uh, busted my ass, and just did the best that I could. Found
Yeah.
out what was needed, filled all of the things that needed to be done, and then
Mm.
kept going. But yeah, I can talk about that forever, like
Yeah,
literally.
but that's dude, that's so inspiring because like, you did start late in the career, right? But
Mhm.
like, where you at now, it's like in a short amount of time you achieve that goal, and it's amazing. It's inspiring for sure. So that was it, the Marvel film Robin, the one
That was
that
filmed.
called you.
Yeah,
Okay, so you were working there for about a few years then when we met, because like we met like around 2013.
yeah, I'll never forget, man. I
2013,
remember.
2013, was it 2012 or 2013? Something like
No,
that.
it was earlier. It was like 2010. It was like 2011 maybe.
Oh,
But
2011. Yeah, yeah, something like that.
I,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I,
2011.
I won't forget you, my brother.
Oh, dude, I won't forget you
I,
too, man.
I remember you, man.
Well, we have to talk about that because it's something that that's kind of lingering. Like that subject is kind of lingering in the animation, at least in the old days, right?
Sure, yeah.
Because what we're talking about here is what would you say, like a negative um about how would you phrase it? What would you say it?
Well, you know, I can only say it from my point of view. And up until meeting you, my experience with working with other people from our culture, from
Mm,
from with other Filipinos, was
mm,
negative,
yeah,
and various reasons. I can point out a couple. Like
yeah,
if you work for a Filipino person, for some reason they take advantage of you and they make you
yeah,
work harder for less pay, and all that stuff.
yeah,
But they act like your friend, and
mm,
so you feel obligated, like utang ng loob, like
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
so there's that negative part of it. The other part of it is the flip side, where there's this mentality of like I can't let that person get ahead, or there's a jealousy or something like that, and
yeah, yeah. I see
and,
that. Yeah,
and maybe
it's
it's because, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
it's very sad because it's very sad because like I think our generation doesn't do that no more. I think it's
Yeah,
our generation before us,
yeah.
but it's sad because that's how I felt also when I met you too. So like, I was kind of worried, not worried, but like I was like I'm
Oh,
just kind of yeah,
yeah,
I had I kind of put you like in an arm's length, like
yeah.
but but after obviously we became really really good friends. But so yeah, because talking about that, I actually know someone who's amazing Filipino guy who's uh took a lot of people under his wing in the animation, and but towards the end those people kind of bit his hand at it's like it's messed up. I
Is that
love the
your
guy.
dad?
And huh. No, it's my friend Dell. It's like
Oh
he's
yeah,
super nice. Yeah, super nice dude. But later on, you know, other Filipino artists stabbed his back, stabbed him in the back.
yeah.
But it
It's
was super
unfortunate.
sad.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah, yeah. I
You
know
know, and
exactly. Yeah.
I hope that it stopped with our generation.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you or me for feeling the
Yeah.
way that we did
Well,
because
it is the crab mentality, Filipino crab mentality that we're talking about here. It's like it's definitely ingrained in the Filipino culture. So it's something that people have to realize that it's not cool to do, man.
where do you think it came from?
Hmm. I think it came from a I'm just talking out of my ass here. I think it's probably because we were enslaved back
Hmm.
in the day. And when our I would say when our masters at the time would offer something, of course they would fight over it,
A
and
house
they would,
slave.
yeah, exactly, and they would talk shit about the other dude. It's like, nah,
Uh-huh.
hey master, don't, it's like it's not cool. He's gonna poison you, whatever, whatever. I think it came from there. It's like it's about it's a dog eat dog world in back in the time and back in the day. So I think we kind of carried that on, and it
Yeah.
became a culture. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I hope it's gone with our generation. Of course,
Yeah.
will be people, but I do notice that a lot. I've been talking with a lot of Filipinos that have been born here, and maybe they're second generation, third generation. They don't have it at all. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Like I think yeah, they left it with the past cultures.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good. That's good, man. And it should be left in the past. And
no, absolutely. But
yeah.
but so I have to explain. Like when this, saw the elevators open and this guy came out with his hair like, and he could not look at me directly. He just went like this. He just kept walking.
Yeah,
And
dude.
I was
I
like,
was definitely trying to like measure you up, man. I'm like, who the hell is this dude, man? It's this guy. It was like a defensive, it's like I was so defensive, man. I was like, shit, man.
it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
again, like, because I felt the same way. I was just like, all right.
Yeah. Oh
But yeah, I
man.
mean, it was through. I don't even know. I mean, I want to say when you were started to do 94, and we started talking about stuff, and
Yeah.
I was just like, this guy's awesome. This guy's really cool, and like whatever resistance I had, it just kind
Yeah.
of let
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. That wall was torn down, man, for sure, man. And of course, going out and all that stuff. So, it was just like clicked. We were brothers, man, So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Abs-
So when we worked together, you were a production manager at the
Oh yeah,
time.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so I already went through it.
Yeah.
I should tell you a little bit about what happened with me because it's kind of a fluke, and not a lot of people have gone through this, or maybe they have, but it's few and far between. But I went from PA to production manager in a year,
Mm.
and most people that have to be a PA for like 2 years, and then
Yeah.
record, and then a product.
Yeah.
Like what happened with me was when I was a production assistant, there were a few things, but there was an area of opportunity that opened where my producer stopped showing up. Not sure what
Mm.
happened. maybe found another job, decided didn't
Mm,
want to come back. I don't know, but that left this void where everybody was like, "What's going on? What do we do?"
mm,
And there were two coordinators, a script coordinator and a design coordinator, and I talked to
mm,
them, I said, "Hey, I'm a production assistant. Like, what do you want me to do? What should we do?" And they were just like, "I only work on scripts, or I only work on designs." They were not concerned about the production, just only about their section.
mm,
So it's like, okay, that's interesting. So what I did was because I'm also a 30-year-old PA by this time. Okay, I'm not 20 anymore,
mm.
uh, and I've been in the Navy for 6.5, almost 7 years.
Yeah.
So I started talking to everybody. I talked to everybody. I said, "What do you do? What do your deadlines look like?
Mm,
And what do you need to get your job done?" And
mm,
so I talked to everybody, got to know who was who, what the hierarchy was, and just through my communication, I was able to understand who worked for who and what the
mm.
schedule kind of roughly looked like. And
Yeah.
so I was working on that, and I was putting all that stuff together, and I was getting people to work, and it got noticed. And then I don't know if she was the president at the time, but the but basically I think the executive producer noticed that and said, and basically said, "Hey, looks like you're doing a great job. I'm going to promote you to a coordinator." And I said, "Wow, thank you very much." That's 3 months
Mm,
later. You know, and then in those 3 months, or after that, after being a coordinator and doing my job and
mm,
handling all the stuff, shipping stuff, all that stuff, Ultimate Spider-Man came up, and Ultimate
mm.
Spider-Man was the new Marvel show produced actually by Marvel and not, it was still being outsourced to Film Roman, but
Yeah.
it was from Marvel Studios, Marvel
Yeah. That's
Animation.
the first one, right? That's the first
That's the first.
animation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they needed somebody to work on it.
Mm,
And I got approached, and this was 6 months after I became a coordinator, and they were like, "How would you like to be a
mm.
production manager?" I said, "Let's do it." Right? Like
Yeah.
this point, I at this point, I'm thinking I'm 30 years old. I've got to accelerate however I can, so I'm taking every opportunity. And mind you, like when I say I went from PA to production manager in a year, that's that's when I say a year, I'm not talking about 8 hours a day, Monday through
Yeah.
Friday. I'm talking about 16 to 20 hours a day,
Yeah.
also weekends.
Yeah.
So so that year is actually more like 3 years of work time,
Yeah.
you know. And that's what people don't really understand these days, like, because I hire people and I talk to them, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just they don't understand that it's not about the title and just the amount of time you sit at that job. It's the amount of effort that you put towards
Yeah.
it that allows you to accelerate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people now, like they're coming in as PAs and they're like, "I'm going to be production manager in 6 months." And it's like, okay, good
Good
luck.
luck. Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I had a fortunate opportunity to take
Mm.
advantage,
Yeah. You
and
were in the right time at the right place, you know?
I was at the right time at the right place, and I
Yeah.
also had to drive, right?
Yeah, you
So,
did. Yeah,
so
that's the most
it
important
was
thing. Yeah.
what do they say? It's like luck equals preparation plus opportunity,
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
right? So that's what it was. It was my
Yeah.
preparation, saw the opportunity equals I'm lucky, right?
Mm.
But yeah, that's how I became production manager,
Yeah.
and then I met you,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, and that
We
was a
worked
great
on
show.
that. Yeah, that was a great show. We worked on that for a few years, and then you moved to another show after the show finished, and I moved to another show for a little bit before we joined together again. I
Yeah.
think I worked on How to Train Your Dragons at the time for a little
Oh,
bit.
that's right. I remember.
Yeah, for a little
Yeah,
bit, and
and
then
I remember, and
yeah,
their dad
because
was working.
yeah, because I think I was still working at the Ultimate Spider-Man where you already jumped to Avengers Assemble. So
That's
I was
right.
finishing, yeah, so I was finishing Spider-Man, and when it was done,
Yeah.
uh I jumped to DreamWorks, and then from there I jumped back to under you. You became my
Yeah.
boss. You're bossing me around, whipping my back. Work, work. Just kidding. I have to say you're the best boss, man. You're the best
Oh
boss. Yeah,
no,
you are.
I learned a
Yeah.
lot. I learned a lot,
And
honestly.
like what I told I spoke to Chuck Patton a couple of days ago, and we were just talking about this. It's the same with you, man. Like, when you switch your work mode on, you're purely
Right.
working, professional. You have to be, there's no, I mean, there's still kind of friends, but like, nah, we got to work. We got to work, which is, that's how it's supposed to be. It's like,
Yeah,
but sometimes you can't help but, like guys, like artists would come to your office, like, be silly and all that stuff. But
yeah, sure,
I, I,
sure.
I, I always know when you're like on work mode, like you just like, I was like, all right. And then after
I'm,
that, yeah, party.
I'm less serious now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Because I learned so much, man. Just I took my military attitude, I applied it
Mm,
to the workforce, I succeeded, but then that only brought me kind of like half of the way,
mm,
because what it comes down to, it's really about the people. It will always be about the people. You can never
yeah.
get the shit done without the people. um, and so yeah, there was just a major transition, and it wasn't immediate, but it was gradual, where I was going, oh, I
Mm,
can't just brute force everything.
yeah. Yeah.
Like I love brute forcing. Like it's just like, this
Mm,
is what we got to do, and we're just gonna go.
yeah.
But I've learned over time to just treat human beings with a softer touch, with a more
Yeah.
understanding touch, with just you know not sympathy, but more empathy. You
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Well,
and yeah,
that's why everyone, all the artists respected you, because the way you ran things, so so when it's time to like crunch time, everyone's doing their job, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because like, this is it, we got to carry each other, and like, we got to finish your work then. So
yeah.
that's the good, I would say, the fruit of your awesomeness, I would say.
No, I appreciate you saying that, because like it's because there's a part of me that's always like I just want to chill. like
Mm,
like like I don't want to have to go hard on anything or whatever. Like I just want to chill. But like,
mm,
I think just being honest with people,
mm.
um just being honest, and I've always kind of prided myself on being straightforward, where
Yeah.
I'm not doing the producer tricks, of
Yeah.
like, hey, this is due tomorrow, but it's actually due next week, and
Yeah.
like, the thing is, it's like, hey, it's due next week, and if you don't hit it, that's just what it is, and
Yeah.
we're gonna have to deal with the consequences, and you're gonna
Exactly.
deal with the consequences.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, so
Yeah. But
yeah,
that's
so
what's cool about you too. Like, you really, you're very frank. You're very straightforward with anything. Like, especially when dealing with problems at work. You just like, okay, this is how are we gonna do this? This is how we're gonna do this. But you always kind of approach it in a gently manner. So we respect that, and we understood that. So that's why we all kind of, as a team, we worked on it. So it's cool.
but
Um.
it's
So
about the people, right? So sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, no, yeah, yeah. So I was gonna ask you, because you have also done some live action stuff, and
Yeah.
some music video stuff. So how would
Yeah.
you say, how would you differentiate the two? Like,
I think, okay, first of all, I love live action. I
mm,
love being on set. And I think just the major logistical differences is animation is done in the office, and live
mm,
action is done on the field.
sets, yeah,
And, and you get camaraderie in the office for sure, but on
mm-hmm.
the field, man, like
It's even,
when the
yeah,
stress is high and everybody's moving stuff and it's physical,
yeah,
like it makes me feel like I'm in the Navy again. Like
yeah,
honestly, and it feels good. It feels
yeah,
good to
yeah,
to get a whole crew, a whole bunch of people together and go,
yeah,
this is what we got to do, and
yeah,
and this is how we're gonna do it. And there's problems every 5 seconds, and we got to communicate. You know,
yeah.
I love being on set, and I know you know this because you've been shooting a lot of your short films. So
Yeah, I love it. I love that feeling that you're saying. It's like, it's almost like like every filmmaker son I know is like sadomasochists, because like, they like that pain. They like that, that stress, that like, especially when you're when something goes wrong. And that's when you like really feel like, this is it. Like everything, adrenaline kicks in, your creativity kicks in, and everything just like it makes it more fun when something goes wrong, So
Well, you
that's
have to really love problem solving. Like
mm.
there's a creativity in problem solving.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's like you have to love being flexible and being able your ideas being malleable and being
Yeah.
able to, and for honestly for me it's again like um working with people is one of the I would put it all the way up here in terms of all the qualities of everything that I want to work
Mm.
on. It's like the people have to be the best,
Mm-hmm.
especially now that I'm 43, right?
Mm.
Like I got time, so,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, and I knew that when I first got into animation and I went into a record session
Mm.
and I saw how all the actors were working and how the producers were in the back and the sound engineers and all that stuff, and I was like, this is awesome, you know,
Yeah.
like people working together. This is great. So yeah.
Yeah, that's actually I was thinking about that. That's actually another skill set that you have to kind of have is to talk to different people and actually know how to talk to them. And because like everyone has, different personalities and
Yeah.
I would say especially like probably actors would have like even more because like they're acting. So yeah, it's harder to deal with them, I would say.
Yeah.
But because like as an artist, you just have to worry about what you're doing. It's like we don't have to deal with other things. But with you, it's like you have to have that skill set. That's amazing, man. That's a
You know what's interesting is back at Marvel, when I dealt with, when I managed a lot of people, I think I took a lot of things personally, and what I mean by that is not that I was offended, but that I really absorbed a lot of everybody's problems. Um,
because you
and it's
cared, man.
because I cared, and I really
Yeah.
still care, and
Mm.
but I think what I've been able to do now is separate that from my personal, I don't know, pain. Like I can look at it objectively, and I can still
mm.
understand the human element
Yeah.
behind it, and I can solve the problem without coming home and going, oh, like my
Yeah.
brain is, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it's just anywhere. Like all the problems are like anywhere from like a small problem, somebody's Cintiq pen isn't working, to
Yeah.
like really big, expensive problems.
Yeah. Adrian is on his 3 hour lunch again.
Hey, you know what? Adrian gets his stuff done. So I, I don't care if
Oh
I see
man.
him only once a month. and
Oh man, so funny.
that's the thing too. Sorry, real quick. My attitude in the Navy was, and I had great supervisors too.
Mm,
I learned this from them was that okay, you may have a 12-hour workday, but if
mm.
you get all that stuff done in 6 hours, go ahead and do whatever
Go
you
ahead.
want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that attitude because it's about getting stuff done.
Yeah.
And and once
Which
you
is the
get stuff done,
objective. Yeah.
which is the objective, and not
Yeah.
busy work and not
Yeah.
looking busy. And so
Exactly.
like yeah, with anything, with this job, with
Mm,
entertainment, that's the way that I look at it. It's like, look, if we can get this done, if you as a person can get this done and never have to let me worry about deadlines,
mm.
dude, you do whatever you got to do.
Yeah. Do what you got to do. Yeah. That's awesome, man. I want to ask you, what's the difference between a producer, line producer, and executive producer? Like I always,
Yeah.
because I always like see that on credits and stuff. So.
Yeah. The person that really works is the line producer. I'm just kidding. They all have different responsibilities. So
Yeah.
so we'll start from line producer, and then you've got a producer and an executive producer.
Okay.
So
Cool. Cool.
so the line producer really is, the major force in making sure everything gets done. The line
Mm,
producer creates the budget, creates the schedule, and manages all of the departments. The
mm,
line producer needs a reliable production team that starts with a production manager in order to get stuff done.
mm,
If line producer has to do production manager stuff, it's not going to be good.
mm.
I mean, you'll have exceptional people, but like it's going to be really tough. So the line producer is going to set the stage, look at stuff anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months from now, and go,
Mm,
hey, we got to do these things in order to make sure 6 months from now we're good. Okay,
mm,
so that's the production manager before the line producer is the person who is the day to day who says we need this today in order to get this stuff done tomorrow. So
mm,
that's just an understanding. So above line producer, then you've got producers, right? And these people can range from being creative producers
mm,
or just like production producers, and there's two sides. So the creative producer is a studio executive who is supposed to be in charge of protecting the IP,
mm-hmm.
um, for to protecting the brand of
Okay.
the. So so if you work for Marvel, you're making sure Captain America doesn't do certain things.
Oh, okay.
Captain
Okay.
America doesn't pick his nose. Like we can't have him picking his nose.
Right,
Like
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they're also responsible for the storylines. Going, hey,
Mm,
you know what? Captain America, he doesn't do this in the comics, so he should
mm.
in our show, or vice versa, right?
So it's
Like
like a script. It's like a script supervisor then, kind of in a
it's like a
way.
script supervisor, but the creative executive belongs to the studio. Script
Mm.
supervisor contracted.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool.
So like the creative executive, creative producer,
Mm,
uh, their job is to consume media. Like their job is to read as many scripts as possible, to watch as much stuff as possible, podcasts, comics,
right.
everything. And they also hold the money. They're the people that you pitch to, and they're the ones who go, "Oh, let's go develop that idea. That might become something."
Mm, okay, cool, cool.
They're also the people who look at these graphic novels or pilots or whatever and go, "Hey,
Mm,
it's a great idea. Let's develop it." So that's their function.
right,
Um,
right.
the producer on the production end is inside the studio as well and just makes sure that everything is running correctly, talking to the line producer saying, are we still good on money, are we still good on
Mm,
schedule, if we're not, why not,
yeah.
and they're helping things along the way. So if
Mm,
the producer says, hey, 6 months from now we're going to be in deep doo-doo,
mm,
then that production producer will say, okay, this is like, let's review the schedule, let's review the budget, see how many people we can hire, and all this stuff. They become very creative with their problem solving solutions.
mm,
Okay, so that's the studio level. The executive producer immediately on the show level is
mm-hmm.
either the person that created the show,
Mm,
or
okay.
the person that is taken on to run the show. They're most often called showrunners because
Mm,
they're writers, and they're almost often writers.
okay.
Sometimes you have creative showrunners that are not writers,
Mm,
um, but they really have to show their value, like because the writer determines the path for the whole series. So like
mm,
that's a really powerful position. And in live action,
yeah.
it's actually a lot more in depth. Like the
Mm,
writer, the showrunner for a live action show would be involved in shooting, in post, all that
mm,
stuff.
yeah.
Which the animation executive producer still is, but
Mm-hmm.
like the shooting part, because it's animated, they're not really in there. Sometimes they look at shots and they approve, but that's pretty much it.
Mm,
Uh, okay, so that's the show level, but there are other executive producers higher than that, and that's when you get into like people who financed
yeah,
the
yeah.
show,
Mm,
people who were legacy studio people who
mm,
just Stan Lee was an executive producer for
yeah.
a bunch of stuff, and
So they
you know
fund it, yeah.
he didn't work on it. He was the inspiration. He didn't necessarily fund it either.
Mm,
Yeah, but definitely if you're funding it, you're an executive producer for sure, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so there's different levels to that, but
Mm,
the most immediate is on the show level where you're a writer and you're basically a showrunner.
mm. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm glad I asked you that because like I completely misunderstood that the roles and stuff like that. But
yeah, it shouldn't be a mystery, but it's because it's so different in a lot of studios, but that
Mm,
is really the
that is
like I'm thinking the pure function of it. Yeah.
wow. Um, what about speaking of like funds and all that, like money for the show. I mean, I know with AI nowadays,
Mhm.
it could save a lot of money for production, that's for sure. When
Mhm.
it comes to concepts and stuff like that, right? Which is actually the subject that the SAG and all of them are talking about, like, how are they gonna deal with AI? Um, so what do you think is the what are the pros and cons, would you say, for AI in our business, in the industry?
Yeah. Well, a pro would be it's used as a tool, much like Photoshop,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it will make good artists great and great artists, uh, legendary.
Mm,
That's kind of what Photoshop did. Of course, AI is a different monster. It's nothing like Photoshop. So
yeah,
um,
because I think
they're
what I
mhm,
think what I think about that is, like, with Photoshop, you still have to have the skill, the time that you spend to actually develop your skill, and using Photoshop as a tool, it makes sense.
yeah,
But like with AI, it's like all you had to do is like type in what's in your hand, and it makes it
yeah,
for you. So um it's
yeah.
it's a bit like anyone can do it, really. Like, a third grader could do it. Like, she just types in words and it will create something beautiful for that
Mhm.
person. So where do you think production should draw the line? Like, how much to use?
Oh,
Like,
well, you know what's interesting in the writer strikes, there was something in the agreements that said that the studio cannot oblige a writer to use AI, but a
mm,
writer can use AI for inspiration or whatever they use it if they
mm,
want.
yeah,
So I think that was a pretty good line to draw, where
yeah,
the studio is saying that the studio cannot command you to use AI, but
mm.
if you as an individual would like to
So
dabble.
basically, they just want to wash their hands. Like, you do what you do, but don't tell me. That's pretty much what it
I
is.
mean, I mean,
You know?
basically, I think the con, and I can't look so far into the future because honestly, AI is the tech is advancing so quickly.
Yeah.
But I think the con is expectations of the studio, where um, if you were a concept artist, for example, and you used to come out with one fully fleshed matte painting a week, because other artists are using AI,
Mm.
and they're simulating 10 different versions
Yeah.
of the same painting, and then they just paint over it.
Yeah.
Then now you have competition, and
Hmm.
so then the studio gets used to a standard, like why don't
Yeah.
you have 10 matte paintings like
Exactly.
this
That's
other
that's
guy?
what I mean. That's what I mean. It's like, in a production side, it's super helpful, right? And but on the artist side, it's kind of it's stealing money or stealing food from the artist, really.
Yeah,
So, because even the production people could just do it. You could just type it, and then, oh, here is a concept. You know what I
it's
mean?
getting to be that way. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, it's quite of it really is a controversial topic when it comes to, like, because then, ethics and morality kind of comes in that subject as well. You know what I mean? Like, how much would you
Well, the artists have to be protected somehow.
yeah.
I can't even pretend to know the answers, but I think the agreement from the WGA is the first step. But
Mhm.
like I said, AI is advancing quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
insane, man.
yeah,
Could you believe that? Like, 20 years ago, we won't talk about this, man. 20 years ago, it's like, that's impossible. That's impossible. But it's like, it's
yeah,
here, man. It's here. Freaking
it's,
Tesla robots and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane, dude. It's insane. Did you see
it's
I saw like a headline of, I don't know if it's true, but I saw a headline yesterday.
yeah.
Apparently one of Tesla robots freaked out and started hurting the engineer,
Oh wow.
attacking the engineer. Yeah.
Wait, how and why?
I know. It's like, I'm like, I haven't read read it, but like I just saw a headline. I was like, "Well, that's interesting. I'm gonna check it out." So
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
definitely check it out because like that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. But like I said that to you, but it feels like it's normal already, right?
Right, right. We're just talking about it,
We're just
right? Like
yeah, it's like but
this isn't.
if it happened like 10 years ago, it would be a huge news.
No, no,
Everyone would be
it's
talking about it.
10 years ago. We were sitting on your couch going, "Dude, what if this would?"
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I miss those
Now we're
days
like,
though.
yeah, but now we're like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
exactly. Yeah,
robot."
yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because like, it's more like 10 years ago we talk about what if, man, it would be, it would be awesome if this happens. And now it's happening more than what we thought that it was gonna happen. It's like more
Oh yeah.
advanced, it's like it's insane, man. It's like so crazy.
That's why
Yeah.
I keep myself focused on friends, family, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That's what
the
the
world
real thing. You gotta focus on the real thing. You know what I mean?
the world will change. It will always
Yeah.
change. It
Yeah.
will advance and change around you in like
Yeah.
blind
It's just so
faith.
fast, man. It's just so fast.
You can't. You're trying to grasp at everything, but you can't.
Yeah.
Like, so what do you have? Family, friends,
Yeah.
your aspirations and your
Mm,
dreams. That's what you
yeah.
go.
Yeah. It's crazy because I also just heard a clip of one of Joe Rogan's guest
Yeah.
that they have been actually tampering with DNA and stuff. Like later on, you can actually change your DNA. Like I don't know what it's gonna be, like a pill or something, like an injection or something like that. That you could actually change
It's
your biological
like
structure.
limitless.
Yeah, something like that. But it's
Oh
actually
man.
development. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. I was
If
like,
you talk to me before I had a baby, I would be all about it. You know, yeah, experiment on me. Give me
yeah,
those
oh, I
pills.
know.
You
We
know,
talked about that, man. Talked about
I'm like,
that.
I want the cybernetic enhancements. No, I'm like,
Seriously,
no, I don't. I'm not.
the penis enlargement line would be so long.
This is his fifth
Everyone's,
visit.
hey, what are you doing here, man? Oh,
Back again.
back again. First one didn't work. Oh my god, it's so
What's
funny,
sad
dude.
is all this technology leads to that for sure.
Oh,
Penis
pretty
alone.
much. Yeah. Everyone's also, I mean, like I love Joe Rogan stuff. There's also a clip that's I think it's it's a trend now where
Mhm.
people, because like they used to do that in China. Because in China, there's one area in China where uh short men couldn't get a wife. Like if you're shorter than 5 foot tall,
Uh-huh.
you couldn't get a wife. So what they would do is actually they would save up money and they would extend their freaking leg, right?
I know about this.
Just
Yes.
for them to get a. But now it's like it's happening in the West world now
Yeah.
too.
Well, I didn't know it originated in the East, actually. Like,
Yeah.
I was doing because that's the inspiration for the pilot that I'm writing right now.
Mm,
It's about people just doing body modifications
yeah.
to for an advantage. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that there was a guy that was like 5'2", and then he got leg extensions to be like 5'8" or something.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, 6 inches. It's easy for them, but I mean, like if you look at them proportionally, they're not.
I
They
gotta
don't
ask
look
you a
good.
question. I gotta ask
Yeah.
you a question. All right. You ever walk with your girl when she's wearing high heels and she's like 6'2" on those high heels, and then you hold her hand and it's like up here?
Yeah.
So unless you extend your arms, like you're
Yeah.
just a tall guy with short arms.
Dude, that looks so weird, dude. Just imagining it. It's so crazy. It's so funny. Oh man. But yeah, it's crazy. But then if you think about it, people have been doing that for a long time, with breast implants, lips, and all
Sure.
that stuff. It's just like it's a uh more how would you say this? Like more it's crazier nowadays because like legs. It's like why?
Yeah. Do you think
But
it's
what does that teach you though? Like, what does that tell you? Like, I feel like it teaches people not to accept themselves.
Well, absolutely, that's what it is,
Yeah.
right? It's and I'm not trying to be righteous. You know, there's a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
things.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I wish I wasn't
Absolutely.
losing all my hair. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
but it is what it is. But like,
Yeah.
no, I think overall, well, there's some trends here. I
Mm.
think we're staying immature longer
Mm. Yeah.
because we're living longer. So like the rite of passage back in the day was like 14, go kill a bear, and
Yeah.
now it's like 30, get a job, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so we're more immature for longer. So what does that mean? We're more selfish, I think. Like we
Yeah.
selfish longer. I didn't know what it meant to be unselfish, honestly, until I had a job.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot of people who are totally different, but for me personally,
Mm.
I I I look back and I go, I only cared about myself. Like I really
Mm.
only cared about. Sure, I had
Yeah.
friends and had family, but in the end, it was my satisfaction that I was trying to achieve instead of
Yeah.
what does this all mean, right? In
Yeah.
a family atmosphere. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's crazy, man. Um, are you reading any comic books right now? Like any good ones? Any new ones?
bro, it's not here. Oh, okay.
Oh shoot.
I got did you say comic books or
Yeah, comic books. Yeah, yeah.
um well there's I don't have it, not comic books, but I for Christmas I received the Lord of the Rings illustrated. Uh,
Oh snap! The whole three trilogy.
yeah, the whole thing,
Nice.
and
Yeah, yeah.
with illustrations from I'm horrible because it's
It's
late at
not Frank
night.
Frazetta, is it?
No, I wish it was Frank Frazetta.
Oh man.
No, no, with illustrations from the author.
Oh,
The
from the
author.
author is? Wow,
Yeah.
really? I didn't know he drew.
Apparently, yeah, apparently he did sketches and watercolor paintings, but
Yeah,
never like for publication.
yeah.
But this version has his stuff in there.
Oh
So
man, I gotta take a look at that. That's
and
awesome.
I read like the first chapter with the hobbits and stuff, and I
Yeah,
miss reading books. Like so much about the world,
yeah,
um, versus when you watch a movie and you're just in it, right? And you have to pay
yeah,
attention. Oh,
yeah,
this is the setting. This is what that guy's feeling.
yeah.
But it tells
It's
you
not enough
all.
time to develop the characters in the world in the movies, you know. So with books, you know, you could read everything and just really understand and really
Like
immerse yourself in there.
I didn't know that Frodo was orphaned at a young age, and that's why he came to live in the Shire with Bilbo Baggins. And Frodo was Bilbo's heir. I had no idea.
Mm.
There's gonna be a bunch of people watching this going, "Oh, but I'm sorry. It's like the first time that I actually ever read it, and I love the movies, you know.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, as far as comics, the last major run probably was that I read was Invincible, and a
Mm.
lot of it was this was even before it came out.
Mm.
It was, it,
The
there
animation.
I heard the animated series was going to come
Mm.
out, and I was
Mm.
like, I got to catch up on this. What is
Yeah,
this? And
yeah,
I got to give it to Robert Kirkman, man, because honestly, like the story arcs, and I just had my daughter at the time. Let me tell you something.
yeah.
So, can I spoil it
Yeah.
for you?
Can you what?
Can I spoil it for you a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, dude.
Okay, so I got into the habit of reading comics on my phone, and
Mm.
my baby daughter was like 4 or 5 months at the time. She
Yeah.
was on my shoulder, and I'm in a rocking chair, and I'm like reading comics. So I'm reading Invincible, right? And there's this storyline where basically, like if you watch the series now, you see that he messes up a bunch of times and just,
Mm.
problems get caused and stuff like that. Anyway, he has a chance to go back in time and correct all of that. But the current
Mm.
reality is that he's with what's her name again? Um, uh, Cut this out because and then like cut it and spice it together so it's not like I wasted a lot of
Okay.
time. What was her name?
Atom Eve?
Adam Eve, sorry,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So he's I think he's married with Adam Eve, and
Hmm.
he's got a daughter with her that was just a baby. Okay, so I have a baby on my shoulder, and they have a
Hmm.
baby, right? But anyway, he meets this alien entity that allows him to go back in time and change everything and make everything right, so his dad doesn't do all the things he did
Yeah.
and all this stuff. So he goes back and he just changes everything and makes everything perfect, right? And now he's at present time again, but he
Hmm.
doesn't have his daughter because he changed the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And he goes back to the alien entity and goes, I want to go back, you
yeah.
know, and I'm already here kind of like emotional, like
Yeah, it's so deep, man. Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah.
go back, and then the guy's like, the alien's like, are you sure? And like, yeah, send me back. So he sends him back, and he's so happy he's back, and he flies back home his last reality, to the reality he remembered. And then he hears his baby calling out for him, and he looks at his baby, and his baby's 5 years old. 5 years had passed, and I'm
Oh,
sitting there
wow.
with my little baby on my shoulder,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you
That's crazy. That's a crazy story. But he really tapped into the father's
so good, dude. So
wow.
good.
That's
'Cause-
amazing. Because like if we break it down, right? Uh so if he didn't go back in time,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Then the world was still destroyed because of what his father did, right?
exactly. Yeah,
But then he won't have his daughter. So
yeah,
it's like a choice like that. Like, oh man, that's so crazy, dude. And then actually, because he made a mistake, right? He made a mistake because trying to change the past. It's
yeah,
so deep, man. Trying to change the past, but then he
yeah,
lost 5 years when he
yeah.
came back because
So
focusing on changing the past.
yeah,
That
look
is
at
deep,
that
man.
lesson.
That's a
Wow,
lesson right there, dude. You
it's
know,
biblical, bro. That's
when you
like
try to, yeah, when you try to change the past, you will lose your future. Freaking A, bro.
write it
What's
down, write it
up?
down.
Here we go. Leather jacket club. Leather jacket club.
Oh, we're gonna let it take it.
Oh man, I miss that. I miss those nights, man. But
Yeah,
that's dope, dude. That's dope. That's dope. I didn't know it was that. I mean, because I don't know if you know, I worked on the
I know
season
you did.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah, I worked on season two for animation, but I
of
can't
course
really.
you did. Of course
Yeah.
you did.
I can't talk about it, but
All
wow,
good.
that's crazy. I'm gonna start reading the comic books now then, because like I should, because I'm working on the
Read,
show. You
read,
know.
read. I don't know how many volumes there are. I think there were
Hmm.
20, 30,
Wow.
but
Okay.
but they have the omnibus now or something. So yeah, just just grab it.
Hmm.
And I think Robert Kirkman is a master of storylines. Like
Hmm.
obviously, Walking Dead is
Yeah.
great, and it's about humans, right?
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
it's about the human element. Um, so I would love to like study like the way that
Hmm.
he plots things out,
Yeah.
or if it's just kind of like because it's very well made, and Invincible was written what in 2005 or something like late
Yeah.
2000. So
It's
yeah,
pretty advanced for when it was. Yeah.
so I went on a Robert Kirkman path. I read Outcast 2, which
Mm-hmm.
Outcast was really good too. It was about just a guy who has like the power to exorcise
Mm-hmm.
things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, but again, it's about his relationship and his father and all that stuff. It's really
Mm-hmm.
great. Um, but yeah, so I love comics.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, I was gonna ask you what's your next plan, but you kind of already said it, like, because I know that you've been writing a lot of stuff for yourself, and also you attended at writing. Was it a class or like a?
Oh no, I'm currently in the Writers Guild Veteran Project.
Mm,
And
yeah.
it's a great program because you pitch like three log lines, and then
Mm,
they help you choose which one you're going to write, and you
mm.
write that from the log line all the way to a finished pilot, and then you pitch it. And
Wow.
it's like a year-long program, and it's really great because all the
Mm,
other programs I've talked with people in this program talking about they were on like the NBC Writers on the Verge program and other programs and they were saying it was good. It was like 6 weeks long, but it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't get enough out of it, But
Mm,
this is a year long, and
yeah.
I'm having a great time. Got made great relationships with the mentors and with my
Mm,
other writer fellows, and
yeah.
yeah, they're like it's just an awesome experience so far. So something that people ask me sometimes are like, because they know I write, so they're always like, what do you want to be 5 years from now or 10 years from now?
Mm,
Of course, the obvious answer is I want to be a staff writer at the very
yeah.
least, and I want to be a showrunner,
Mm-hmm.
for my own show or another show.
Yeah.
But the overall answer really is it doesn't matter where I'm going to be 5 to 10 years from now. I'm going to be writing.
Mm,
Okay, so like 20 years from now, I'm going to be writing. It doesn't matter if I'm a showrunner. It doesn't matter if I'm anything. What I want to do is I have a list of ideas,
mm-hmm.
like hundreds of ideas. You're driving in the car, you're like, oh, what if a guy gave birth to his clone? Whoa, and then you got to
Mm,
write it down, right? And so, like I have a whole bunch of ideas, and all I want to do is just tell those stories.
yeah.
There are beautiful stories in each of those ideas, and that's all I want to do. So whether I'm getting paid for it or whether I'm still producing and I'm writing
Mm,
on the side,
mm,
I'm gonna write. That's just what I'm gonna do, and I love it.
yeah.
So
That's awesome, man. I can't wait to read some of your stuff, man. Your new stuff.
sure. Have I
Yeah.
sent you anything recent on this pilot that I'm writing?
No, not at all. I didn't even know you were writing a pilot. The last thing that I that you sent me or showed me was the comic book that you were working on because you even had
Oh yeah,
illustrations.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, I got like so many other things, bro.
Yeah. Did you finish that or still working on
I did, but so here's the issue that I have, and this is me personally because
mm,
because I want to make sure I'm paying people,
mm, mm,
and so the artists that I worked with, really great artists. It's just there are changes that I need to be done on these
mm.
pages, um, and uh, that person became very busy,
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah, yeah.
then time and then all this stuff, and I'm working on other projects. It's
Right,
just
right.
it's one of those things. But
Yeah.
like what I want to do is clear, like once I'm oh here's the thing. All right, I saw this chart. It's got like four lines, right? And it says multitasking, and all four lines are like halfway to the finish line, right? And then the next picture is um, the focus, and it's just one line going all the way to the finish line, and then the
Mm,
next line goes all the way to the finish line, and the next line. So it's like it's just basically explaining that it's better to work on one thing to the finish line than to work on
mm.
four things at the same time. And
Yeah, yeah,
so that's why I'm concentrating on this pilot first. I want to finish it. I want to pitch it, and I want to
yeah,
do it. And then from
yeah.
there, move on to the next one, and then
Mm-hmm.
bring that to the finish line. So
That's
the
good, man. That's
problem
good.
was I had a lot of irons in the fire, and
Yep.
they're all great ideas, but they were all being fleshed out evenly, and they weren't reaching to fruition. So
Mm.
I think
You have to
if I
choose
had
one.
full, yeah, if I had full concentration on that Capre comic,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was just me and the guy, and I was always talking to the guy every day and making sure it was
Yeah,
done, it would have been done. But it would be like checking in next month and how you doing, and
yeah,
it's like people get busy, you
yeah,
can't really
yeah.
blame anybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I hear you in that. Speaking of, we're coming to the end. I didn't expect that we're going to be talking this long. I didn't want to, take your time,
Oh, we
too
can
much of your
talk for the
time.
next 2 hours, bro.
I know,
That's
I
it.
know, I know. But it's already late where you are. But
That's
so
good.
good, that's good, good. I have
Everyone's
a few
sleeping
questions.
now.
What's up?
Everyone's sleeping at the house right now,
Oh, that's
so
good. That's good. All right, cool.
I could
Let's
stay
let's.
up until 6 a.m.
But I won't do that to you, man. Um, But any new films that you saw that blew you away, or anything that's like that you think is really good that you would recommend?
Yeah. Okay. So I think I already explained, like, time is very precious to me right now. It's, of
Mm,
course, it's
mm,
precious to everybody. Specifically to me, it's very precious. And
mm,
so I have to calculate my day. And which means anything I watch has to be either in the theater,
mm-hmm.
uh, so I get the theater experience, or if I watch at home, it's got to be something good. And
Yeah.
so um, I, at home, what I've been doing is I've been watching stuff that I know that I've watched before, that I know that I liked,
Yeah.
but now I'm watching through a different lens. Like, now
Right, right.
as a person who's older, who
Mm-hmm.
has, just different perspectives on things. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
watching things through a different lens. So I just finished season one of The Wire again.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah, yeah.
and oh,
Yeah.
bro, like, I can't believe how
How awesome it
beautiful,
is.
how beautiful,
Yeah.
like, it's beautifully written. It's
Yeah.
really well done.
And
And then
this was like a 2008, right? Like a
it
2008 or
was
older.
it wasn't even HD. It was like standard.
Yeah, it was a square. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Shot
remember
standard.
that. Yeah.
It was like the late 90s or early 2000s, somewhere.
Yeah.
Because it was about The Wire. It was like beepers were coming out of fashion.
Yeah, yeah.
Cell phones just started, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's good. I also watched Yojimbo for the first time. Forgive me,
Oh yeah, dude.
the files, but I had to read that Yojimbo meant bodyguard. I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. But masterful movie.
Oh
And
yeah.
I didn't know how to appreciate movies before. And now that I'm watching
Yeah.
movies to study them,
Hmm.
like, it's beautiful.
Dude,
Yeah.
you have to watch Samurai 1, 2, 3. It was the same actors. Was it Toshiro Mifune on Yojimbo? I forgot. Or was it I don't think it is. But anyway, so the you know who Toshiro Mifune, right?
Yeah.
The Seven Samurai guy, yeah. But dude, watch it's about Miyamoto Musashi, the film.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
basically, yeah, it just shows you like the his evolution, man. It's just crazy. And it reminded me so much of Mike Tyson when he was a
oh,
beast, when he was a beast from beast to becoming to like a freaking philosophical, person. It's
yeah, yeah.
just so insane to change that. But that movie's really awesome too. I like that a lot because I used to read the novel Vagabond. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
you got into that, yeah, but it was like a
No.
long book. But anyway, it's a story of Toshiro Mifune. It's really awesome too. So, but I also been rewatching old movies that I like, and
Yeah.
seeing a lot of different things that I didn't see before too.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna rewatch Matrix.
I would say the first one still holds up
Yeah, yeah,
for me.
yeah.
The second,
I can
because
see
I
that.
actually just watched it like last year again.
Mm.
The second one, I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch that alone. Let's see.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
from the second one, it feels like it's stretched already. Like it was like it's trying to catch the first one's impact, but it didn't really no success.
I think what I want to do is I want to watch all the trilogies, at a time.
Mm.
So like I'd love to watch Lord of the Rings all the way through again.
Extended
Matrix,
version, bro. Extended version. You have to.
version.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I just watched the Pusher trilogy by Nicholas Winding Refn.
The pusher.
Um, you should watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's in it? Who
I think Mads Mikkelsen. I'm not sure if I'm getting
Oh
that.
yeah, I love him. I love him.
Yeah, so he was in the first one and the second one, I think. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just it's you see where his style came from. These were
Mm.
his first movies,
Yeah.
and you see like the progression of it,
Yeah.
and my adrenaline was like pumping the whole time. It's
Yeah.
very rare to have a movie to just continue to like grip you like that. So
So it's a trilogy. You gotta check it out.
yeah, it's a trilogy,
Yeah.
but I didn't watch it as a trilogy. I actually just watched the first movie, and I was like, "Whoa, there's two of the
Well,
movies."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome, dude. I gotta check
that's
that out for
probably,
sure, man.
yeah.
Um, yeah, dude. So I'm gonna check out The Wire too, actually, because like I remember watching it a long time ago, but that was I didn't finish the whole season because like that was just like a long time ago. But I'm gonna definitely
I envy
check
you.
it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because like the experience again, you
Because
could
the
erase your
character,
mind, bro. Later in 10 years, man, you could choose that. You could erase that just that part of your memory
yeah,
and just rewatch it over and over.
no, but see that goes into like overindulgence, and that's probably
Yeah, and then you lose 5 years of your life.
yeah, exactly. That's what that leads to for sure.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
And then it's
much.
like,
Yeah.
no, congratulations, you're a human battery for aliens.
Pretty much, dude. That's what's gonna happen. All right. So just one last question, brother. I'm
Yeah,
gonna ask you this because I asked my dad this too.
yeah.
What would you say is the most important things in your life right now?
For me,
Yeah.
um, the most important thing is God,
Hmm.
and I don't say that lightly. I say that because um, belief in God and following those teachings allow me to really structure my my life, the way of I think,
Hmm.
that I feel, and allow me to be a good husband and good father. You know, and of course that leads to everything, and that's because of course my family is important to me.
Hmm.
So as yeah, as a guidance, God is the most important above all.
Amazing, brother. You know, I've never heard you say that for all those years that we talked. It's amazing, dude. So happy for you, man. No, I really am. I really am. It's something that is a gift to find that in your life. You know what I mean? So that's amazing, brother. I'm happy for you, man.
Thank you very much.
And I think that's the best way to end it. And I thank you so much, brother, for being
Thank
on
you.
here, man. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this is not the last one because we have our brother Sebastian already said yes, so he'll do it, and of course our brother Gene, he'll do it on.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. I can't wait, man.
that's
You know,
great.
so but good night, brother, and thank you so much for being on here, man. Until next
Thank
time, bro.
you.
Take care,
Thank you.
man.
All
All
right.
right, bro.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, bye.